Samsung Galaxy J7 Perx versus Samsung Galaxy J7 2015. Comparison coming up right now. Let's get it started. Okay, y'all, so on the left here, we got the Samsung Galaxy J7 Perx. On the right here, we got the Samsung Galaxy J7 2015. Both these here are on Boost Mobile, and I'm really anxious to see this comparison, to see how both of them stack up against each other. So let's go ahead and go in here to CPU-Z first and just see what we're working with here when it comes to the processing department. Let's try to focus in just a little bit better there. There we go. Over here on the Perx, we got a 2.2 gigahertz Snapdragon 625. It is an octa-core processor with an Adreno 506 GPU. Over here, we got a 1.4 gigahertz Snapdragon 615, also an octa-core processor with an Adreno 405 GPU. On the left, over here on the J7 Perx, got a 5.5 inch display, 1280 by 720. It is 720p display with 266 pixels per inch, with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. Over here in the J7 2015, got a 5.5 inch display as well at 1280 by 720, 720p display. However, this one does have a Super AMOLED display, which is much nicer in my opinion. Also has the same 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. Let's go ahead and go home here. We'll go ahead and clear out these apps here. We will start in right now with this comparison. So the J7 Perx took the win there. Go into YouTube. And that was about even there. Pretty close. Let's go into calculator. J7 Perx had it. Let's go into calendar. J7 Perx had it. Let's go into camera. J7 Perx took it there. Now, with a front-facing camera, in my personal opinion, the J7 2015 does have a better front-facing camera. It does seem to let more light in, more detail in. Whenever I stick my hand out here, you'll see, well, look at there. It takes a picture when you put your hand up there. Put your hand up there like that, and it takes a picture. So, pretty cool. Learn something new every day. Go back home. Let's go into Google Plus. And it looks like that it's glitching up there on the J7 Perx. So we'll go ahead and close that out. And we'll try that one more time. I've been having issues with Google Plus. I'm not really sure why. So let's go back in there again. And the J7 2015 took it. So right now I'm having issues with the J7 Perx going into Google Plus for some odd reason. Let's go ahead and we'll just try it one more time and see what happens. If not, we'll just bypass it. There we go. So the J7 Perx did take it there, slightly over the 2015. Let's go back home, go into IMDb. I believe that the J7 Perx is going to just take it barely there, but it does take it. Go into Instagram. And it looks like that the J7 Perx had it there as well. Go into Play Store. And J7 Perx once again. Let's go into Settings. J7 Perx. Let's go into Snapchat. And it looks like that the 2015 J7 took it there. I go into Twitter. And the J7 Perx took it by a pretty long shot there. Go into Temple Run 2. Now this is where I have a feeling we're going to see the J7 Perx just take off and leave the 2015 version. The processor in the 2015 in the J7 Perx is just blazing fast. Just opening up apps, as you've seen there, are pretty much very close together. But when it gets into really high multitasking, really graphic intense games, you're going to see a huge difference in performance on the J7 Perx versus the J7 2015. So let's go back home here and we'll go into Subway Surfer. Both of them are good phones. However, I have really nothing bad at all to say about the J7 Perx. It's just been a very, very fast device. And it works. It plays every game perfectly. It's strong. It's fast. It's powerful. And I've had not one single issue with the phone since I've had it. And you see there was a pretty good delay there between these two here for this game. Let's go into Geekbench 4. And we'll look at some scores that I ran. Go into history here and pull up this one, and go into history here and pull up that one. And as you'll see, 956 single score with a multi-core score of 4569. And on the 2015 version, 537 single score and 1495 multi-score. Kind of curious here. Let's go into single score here and see where this ranks up at. It just surpasses by 1 point the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. And on multi-core score, it looks like that it beats out the OnePlus 3, and it's just 700, not even 700 points less than the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. So really good scores here on the J7 Perx. It is a very, very powerful device. It's very snappy. I've not had any slowdowns, not had any hiccups. Games play well, multitasking. I mean, you can just run this phone hard and it just takes it. I mean, it's a very, very, very fast device. So let's go back home here and let's just see how RAM management is. Let's see if reopening these apps that's already been opened before, if they will have to reload, if they will just open back up. So let's go ahead and start over here again. Had to reload on both of them there, but J7 Perx had it. YouTube, another reload, but J7 Perx way ahead there. Calculator, J7 Perx. Calendar, the Perx. Camera, the Perx once again. Google Plus, J7 Perx way ahead there. But as you're seeing, they have to all reload every single one of these apps. So RAM management does not seem to be very good on either one of these devices. So again, J7 Perx, Play Store had to reload. Settings, it's just basically the same thing, having to reload every single app. And Snapchat is not wanting to load on either one of these phones right now. It's taking its own sweet time, so we'll go ahead and just skip on that. Go into Twitter here, and yeah, so there you go, having to reload every single thing. Not one app was ready to open once I got back into it again. So yeah, I mean, there you have it. You've seen the comparison there. And both of these phones here are really nice. Let's go ahead and brighten up the screen a little bit there. And let's try to focus this in. And the phones are really different. The speaker is on the back here on the J7 2015, while it's on the side here on the J7 Perx. It's got an 8 megapixel camera on the rear on the Perx, with 13 megapixel camera on the rear on the J7 2015, and both of them have 5 megapixel cameras. However, you do get a flash on the J7 2015. Now, as far as how they feel in the hand, my personal opinion, the J7 Perx feels so much better in the hand. This phone just feels very wide and very big, in my personal opinion, and I like the way the J7 Perx feels. The buttons here are the same. Has a dedicated home button, which is always really nice to see. So what are the price ranges with these phones? Well, they vary. I would say between $150 and $200 for the J7 Perx. I have seen the J7 2015 go from like $129 up to $179. So I mean, it's still pretty expensive. And honestly, for that price, not much difference in price range, I would definitely say the J7 Perx is a much better deal. It just has a much faster processor. It just seems to work a whole lot better. The sound quality is better, and everything else. However, if you want a front-facing flash, if you want an AMOLED display, then the J7 2015 may still be, the one for you. Battery life on here is amazing. It completely wipes away the J7 2015 battery. From my test, and so I mean, this also runs 7.0 Nougat. This runs 6.0.1 Marshmallow. And I was going to mention one more thing, but right now I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I mean, I can highly recommend the J7 Perx. I mean, it really, like I said, it will handle whatever you throw at it. It's just that powerful of a device, and I really highly recommend it. But I'm not saying this is a slouch either. I mean, like I say, you got a bigger megapixel camera on the rear, a front flash, a Super AMOLED display, but when it comes to performance, it just can't hang with the J7 Perx. So that's just my opinion. That's my comparison here between these two devices. If this was helpful in any way, be sure to hit that like button. I sure would appreciate it. Any questions or comments, leave it down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. If you ain't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.